A very warm good morning to all my children of class 8, and I am happy to welcome you all in this new week to my biology class. In today's zoology class, let's learn the continuation of chapter 4. What is chapter 4? What were we learning about in zoology? Coordination and control, right? So in that lesson we have studied about 3 types of nervous system. Do you remember what are they? Central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and automatic nervous system, right? In our previous class we had already studied about the central nervous system, that is the structure of brain and spinal cord, right? In today's class we will be learning about the other 2 types of nervous systems. What are left behind? The peripheral nervous system and the automatic nervous system. In addition to these 2 nervous systems, we are also going to learn about a topic called as reflex action. Okay, so let's get started. So first we will start with peripheral nervous system. Do you remember what explanation I gave, what introduction I gave about this peripheral nervous system in our previous class? All your nerves of your body come under this peripheral nervous system. Do you remember a structure of human being with all blue nerves around? In the last class I had displayed that slide, right? So a man with nerves throughout the body, I addressed it as peripheral nervous system, right? So what does it mean? All nerves, most of the nerves of your body come under peripheral nervous system. Let's learn about that in detail. What all you need to know about peripheral nervous system? It starts from the CNS. What is CNS? Central nervous system, right? See, generally if there is a nerve in your body, if you have a nerve in your body, it will have a starting point and it will have an ending point. Okay, whatever nerves you have in your body, it will start from somewhere and end from another place. So this peripheral nervous system starts from CNS, that is the central nervous system. Okay, then where all it goes? It goes to all parts of your body. What is CNS? You know, CNS includes brain and spinal cord, right? So it will start from either brain or from the spinal cord and it is distributed throughout the body. Which one? This peripheral nervous system. What else you need to know? There are 2 types of peripheral nervous system called as nerves called as cranial nerves and spinal nerves. What are the 2 types of nerves which come under peripheral nervous system? Cranial nerves and spinal nerves. I don't know how many of you remember this. I told you in my introductory class that cranial nerves will all be linked to your face. Do you remember? So cranial nerves, as I told you, any nerve will have a starting point and a ending point, right? So this cranial nerves starts from the brain. Where does cranial nerve start? It starts from the brain. Where will it end? It will end either to many parts, it will end. 2 examples given are either to your eyes or to your ears. Somewhere around your face it will end. So it will start from the brain, cranial nerves starts from the brain and ends somewhere in your face. Say for example, either in your eyes or in your ears. If it ends in your eyes, it is called as optic nerve. So ophthalmology means study about eyes. Okay, and if it ends in the ears, it is called auditory nerves. See, generally if I ask you, am I audible to you, what does it mean? Which means, can you hear me? So audible means something related to your hearing capacity. Okay, so optic means something related to your eyes. So these cranial nerves will start from the brain and if it ends in the eyes, it is called as optic nerves, and if it ends in the ears, it is called as auditory nerves. Then how many cranial nerves are there? There are totally 12 pairs of cranial nerves. What does pair mean? Pair means 2. So there are totally 24 cranial nerves in your body which are in pairs. So there are 12 pairs or 24 cranial nerves totally in your body. Okay, then what else you need to know about cranial nerves? Okay, what does it transmit? See, if there is a nerve, it should have some function, right? What is the function of Cranial nerves, it is either transmitting sensory signals or motor signals. In our last class and the class before, we have studied about sensory neurons and motor neurons, right? So what is its function? Again we are going to learn about those two neurons in detail in this class, but you just know that there are two types of nerves called sensory nerves and sensory neurons. And actually neurons and nerves are same. Don't think why in some places teacher ma'am is using the word neurons and some places she is using the word nerves, because both means the same. Neurons means nerves, okay. Generally speaking we call it as nerves, but the actual term is neurons, okay. So these sensory and motor signals are controlled by this neuron, that this type of nerve, that is cranial nerves, okay. So what all you have studied about cranial nerves? Cranial nerve starts from the brain and ends in eyes or the ears. If it ends in eyes, it is called optic nerve. If it ends in ears, it is called auditory nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves in your body, and the function of cranial nerves is it can either transmit sensory signals or it can transmit motor signals, okay. About this you need not worry much, I will explain you later in this class. So there is one more type of nerves called as spinal nerves. So this word itself suggests that this nerve starts from where? From the spinal cord. The term itself suggests, actually cranium, the word cranium refers to brain. So it will cranial nerves start from brain and spinal nerves start from spinal cord. Easy, right? So here it will end in somewhere in your face, either to your ears or eyes. Here it will spread to all parts of your body, okay. So how many spinal nerves are there? Here you had only 12, no, here you have 33 pairs. Spinal nerves number in your body is sorry, not 33, 31 pairs, okay. So totally 31 into 2, 62 spinal nerves you have in your body. Pairs means one pair has two, no. So totally you have 62 spinal nerves, that is 31 pairs of spinal nerves in your body, okay. Then okay, this spinal nerves include mixed nerves. What is mixed nerves? Do you remember in my last class I told you, in between the sensory nerves and the motor nerves you have something called as mixed nerves, okay. Where are they present? They are present either in the brain or spinal cord, okay. So in between sensory and motor neurons you have mixed nerves, and these mixed nerves are present in your brain or spinal cord. So this is about the types of peripheral nervous system. So what is left behind to discuss? So we have finished central nervous system in our last class. Now we have studied about peripheral nervous system, and one more interesting type of nervous system called as automatic nervous system. What is this automatic? We have everything automatic now, right? Automatic washing machine, or everything has become automated, right? So what is this automatic nervous system which is present in your body? So you have many actions in your body called as involuntary actions. What are involuntary actions? All the actions which are not in your control. Say for example your heartbeat. Do you plan when your heart should beat? No, right? You cannot control that at all. Do you plan and wink your eye? Yes, no, you cannot control, okay. How long can you keep your eyes open without closing like this? Can you open and keep? No, you cannot control, because it is an involuntary action. When I speak itself without my knowledge, I keep winking, right? So because it is not under my control, because for camera I cannot keep my eyes open. Even if I think, it will wink by itself, because it is involuntary action, okay. So let's study about this automatic nervous system. It regulates involuntary actions. See the examples. Heartbeat, I told you, right? Blood flow. See, blood flows in your body, right? Can you control the blood flow? Can you say, don't flow this way, go back in the reverse? You cannot tell, because it is an involuntary action. Then breathing. How long can you close your nose like this? You cannot control, right? For fun, you may play with your friends, right? Let's check who can control the breath for a longer period. It may be a fun, but you cannot fully make it under your control. So these are all these nerves, these automatic nerves are the ones which control involuntary actions. Okay, then how do they appear? See, for the peripheral nervous system, we have studied either it is a 12 pair in number or 31 pair in number. No, here this is totally in your body. You have only one pair of automatic nervous system, that is automatic nerves. Okay, only one pair of nerves control all these involuntary actions. Amazing, right? So it's again of two types called as sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Which are of two types? Automatic nervous system are of two types called as sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So both these nervous systems are also again involuntary. They all control involuntary actions of your body. How they control, we will learn. Okay, I didn't explain. So this one pair of nerves, no, I told you there is only one pair of automatic nerves which is controlling all the involuntary actions. So how this appear? It appears like chain. What chain? Many nerves linked together is called chain, right? So when many units are linked together, it is called chain. So this one pair will appear as chains. Chain of what? Chain of something called as nerve fibers. The structure of nerve fibers, all it's beyond your level of learning for 8th grade. So now let us study about sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so I told you already, automatic nervous system itself is involuntary and it is going to control your involuntary actions. So these two nervous systems, no, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, are also involved in control of these involuntary actions. How? I will give you two examples. Suppose if some person is going to beat you, okay, there is one person bringing a stick and is about to beat you. What you will do? You will become violent. You will become violent, right? So automatically you may also take one more stick to defend yourself or beat him back, right? Anyway, you become violent, which is involuntary. Why I call it involuntary? You will not go and sit in a chair and think whether to beat him back or to talk in a nice way, right? Once you see somebody is violent, you will become arrogant and violent too. This is involuntary, which is not under your control. So, and one more example is intense actions. See, sometimes you need to lift a heavy object. Okay, sometimes you will need to lift a heavy object and that heavy object may be beyond your capacity. Usually if you can lift 10 kgs, if you have some object which is of 15 kgs, what you will do? You will give extra energy and try to carry or take it or lift it, right? So that is because of this extra energy which is involuntary, which means normally you will not have that energy, but sometimes you will push yourself to your maximum level to take something which is so heavy. Okay. So I gave you two examples, right? One, when you are becoming so violent, you are so alert. How you are alert? So generally if you are sitting quietly, you will not be that alert, but after you see that a person is about to beat you, what you will do? You will be so alert to defend or to attack him back at any time, right? So in this situation, this alertness is because of these sympathetic nerves. Can you understand? I told you automatic nervous system is responsible for involuntary actions, but this sympathetic nervous system is the one which is responsible for your violent activity or sudden intense activity. Intense activity means, I told you, suppose if you are lifting which is beyond your capacity, the energy you give more and lift something up, or you are alert when there is a violent action. So all these involuntary, both of them are involuntary, which you don't decide, so they come under automatic nervous system. Example. Okay, what happens, example given is your heartbeat or your heart rate will increase. What does it mean? whenever you're violent or whenever you apply more energy, your heartbeat, how it will be? It will be in an increased rate. So increased heartbeat is because of sympathetic nerves. Okay, this is one type. The other type, if you see, this parasympathetic system or nervous system, its duty is to restore everything which has become abnormal. What has become abnormal? See, in this case, no, whenever you become violent or when you spend more energy, what you do? Your body is automatically to some other state. Say for example, your heartbeat is very fast, which is not a normal activity. So what this parasympathetic nervous system do is, they will restore everything back to the original position. So whatever has been collapsed or disturbed in your body will be restored by this type of nerves. Okay, so every action of your body is controlled by certain groups of nerves, and involuntary actions for arrogance, this sympathetic nerves are involved. Sympathetic nerves will restore to the normal levels. Okay, say for example, here the heartbeat is very fast, no, that heartbeat is brought back to the normal level, or the heartbeat is slowed down by parasympathetic nervous system. Clear? So this is all about the automatic nervous system. So next we learn about reflex action. What is reflex action? Again, it is all about the involuntary actions. Reflex actions are the actions. Let's see the definition so that you understand clearly and I can explain in a better way. What is the definition for reflex action? Sudden, involuntary response of body to a stimulus without thinking. You understand anything from this definition? I'll read again. Sudden. So this is not planned at all. It happens in a fraction of a second. Okay. Sudden, involuntary response. Okay. Suppose if a person beats you, beat back, or if you touch something hot, you immediately take off your hand without thinking. So that's why without thinking, it's an involuntary response. You don't plan and do, it is all involuntary, not under your control. So in one fill in the blanks in a homework also I gave you whether something is involuntary or not a involuntary action. So many have given wrong answers. So involuntary action means whatever is not under your control. Voluntary action means what all you can control. So if you want to take a pen, you can decide and take, or if I want to keep this down, I can decide and keep, right? But this blood flow or a winking of the eye is all involuntary, which means it is not under your control, you cannot control. So that is what is called involuntary. And also we learnt about stimulus and response in the first class, no? So when you touch a hot pan or when you touch something, a sharp knife, if it cuts, what you will do? Will you keep the hand on the knife continuously? No, you will immediately take off your hand, which is a involuntary action. You do it automatically of your body. What does this? Your body does this to a stimulus. What is the stimulus? Something which is triggering you to do. Say for example, the heat is the stimulus, or the sharp knife is the stimulus, or a sharp pin. See the two examples given. If you place a hand on a pin, you take your hand, that is an involuntary action. If you touch a hot object, you take off your hand, that is also an involuntary action or a reflex action. So generally involuntary actions are reflex actions. So a sudden involuntary response of a body. Who is responding? Your body is responding, right? Of a body to a stimulus, something which triggers without thinking. You don't plan and do, you do it automatically. So examples, I told you the two examples. Then what else? Okay, how this is happening? So already in my introductory class I gave you a picture, but in detail in today's class only we are going to learn how this is happening by a process called as reflex arc. Okay, what is an arc? Something like a semicircle like structure, no? So arc, a reflex arc. What is reflex arc? It is a, if you we learn in detail about this in the next slide, but if you want to tell this in one word, you can call it as neural pathway. Pathway means some path, right? The way you take. Okay, Way of what? It's not your way, it is the way of neural. Neural means it is related to nerves, neurology, which means a specialist or study about neurons or nerves. Okay, so neural pathway, the way which the nerves are going to take to accomplish a reflex action is the reflex arc. Okay, so for a reflex action, for an involuntary action to happen, this nerves are going through a way and coming back to its original place. Okay, so that route or the way only you call it as reflex arc. The way which the nerves take to carry out the reflex action is the neural way. Okay, so let's see what is that reflex arc. Okay, the definition, the shortest path. I told you, see, if you want to take a way, you can go any way, no, you can go, you can take a long route as well as you can take a short route. Our smart nervous system, what it does always, it takes the shortest path taken by the nerve impulse. Nerve impulse, you know, the typical example what I gave you, a current flowing through a blender, right? If you plug the plug it to a switchboard, and on the switch the current will pass through the wire and the blender will work. Similarly, the nerve impulse also through your neurons or through the nerves, they are carried to your parts of your body. So the way the impulse, actually the nerves won't move, no, what will move, like how the current moves through the wire, the impulse or the nerve impulse will move through the nerves. Okay, so the path which the nerve impulse takes from the receptor to the effector, these two terms, no, it is new to you. We learn in the next slide about the receptor and the effector. Okay, so the what is a reflex arc? The definition you should know, shortest path, it quickly moves, that's why your involuntary responses are very quick, right? So the shortest path taken by the nerve impulse from the receptor to the effector. So about receptor and effector we are going to learn in detail in the next slide. Okay, so these are the components of reflex arc. No, it's not labeled, I'll label one by one. Okay, so what is happening here? In my first introductory class itself, I gave something like a hot pan and a fire only. So the similar kind of example I have given here. There is a fire. First, the man keeps his hand on the near the fire, and then next what he does, he takes his hand off. And how this is happening? It is by a process called as reflex arc. Why you call it as arc? Because see, it is in the shape. I am not going to draw, it will be messy then, I am not going to draw. See, it takes this path, right? It is in the form of a arc like this. So that's why it is called the reflex arc. It starts from here and it ends here. Okay, since it appears like an arc, it is called as a reflex arc. So let's start. From where it starts? Number one, it starts from the receptor. I told you, no, the two terms I'll explain in the next slide, that is receptor and effector. So receptors, what are they? See, in every sense organ, receptors are present in every sense organs. They are called sensory receptors. See, actually you call it as receptors, you don't call it as nerves. Okay, so whatever is in the sense organ, you term it as receptors, which can sense the changes or the stimuli. Okay, say for example, heat is the stimuli. Who will sense? The nerves will not sense. Who is going to sense? The receptors will sense. What are receptors? Receptors are nerve endings. Do you remember while we studied the structure of nerves? So there were nerves, neurons, at every neuron's end there was a structure called as nerve endings. Do you remember? So that nerve ending is only present here. So these receptors include nerve endings. Only these nerve endings or the receptors will sense that there is some change or there is a stimulus. Okay, so you touch a heat, your nerve endings has sensed that there is heat or there is a stimulus. So what will happen? It will send signal. What it will send? signal, or it receives the stimulus. What is the stimulus? Heat, and it will convert into signals. So what it does? It converts the stimulus into signals. So stimulus to signals. Okay. So this is about the receptors. So next we will see the second part, which is the sensory neuron. Which is the second part? Sensory neuron. The first one is receptors. We have finished learning about that. The second part is sensory neurons. What sensory neurons do? We have already studied the structure about sensory neurons, right? Sensory neurons receives the signals and convert them into impulses. So we were talking in the previous class about nerve impulses, no? Just like the current passing through the wire, the nerve impulses will pass through the neurons or the nerves. So it is only in this place called as sensory neurons, these signals are converted into nerve impulses. So initially you have a stimulus and the receptor will change the stimulus into a signal. Okay. So the sensory neurons, what they do? They convert these signals into nerve impulses. So from here only nerve impulses actually start. And in the receptors you have only in the form of signals. Only from sensory neuron it will be converted into, or it will be in the form of nerve impulses. So then what happens, which is the third part? So where do they send? Okay, so if there is a nerve, from somewhere to it will start and somewhere it will end, right? So from where it starts from the sensory neuron and ends in the spinal cord or the brain. Okay, so there are three neurons, you know, no? The first one is sensory neuron, which is marked red in color, and this portion which is green in color is the intermediate neuron or mixed neurons, and the blue one which returns back to the muscles is the motor neurons. You have studied about the structure of sensory intermediate and motor neurons, right? So sensory neurons, what it does, it takes the signals from the receptors and convert them into impulses, and it will give to the intermediate neurons, okay, or the mixed neurons. So what are the two functions of sensory neurons? They take signals from the receptors and convert it into impulses. Second, it will transfer or transmit the nerve impulses to where? To the brain or the spinal cord, where you can find the intermediate or mixed neurons. So we will learn the next part. The third component of reflex arc is association neuron. See, this association neuron, or also called as intermediate neurons or mixed neurons, what these nerves do is they will get the impulses from the red line, that is the sensory neuron, and give the impulses to the blue line, which is the motor neuron. So what is the, it is called intermediate because it acts as an intermediate between the sensory and the motor neuron. Okay, so where can you find them? You can find them in two organs, that is either in the brain or in the spinal cord. So they receive the sensory impulses and send back the motor impulses. Why it is called sensory impulse and motor impulse? Because it receives from sensory neurons, it is called sensory impulse, and since it sends to motor neuron, it is called as motor impulse. So nothing great. So the next step is about the motor neuron. See, this blue line, blue arc is the motor neuron. So I told you already what it does. It receives the impulses from the association neuron and sends it to the effector. What is effector? Receptor, you know. The nerve endings are called receptors, which can take the stimulus are receptors. What is effector? The effector may be, the fifth part is the effector. The effector may be a muscle or a gland. Can you see a big patch of red structure here? So this is the effector or the muscles. Okay, so the muscles or the glands is the effector. What is this effector? Effector is the one which will show the response. So which will sense the response? The receptor or will receive or sense the stimulus, right? That is the heat. So after a person receives a heat, what action he will do? He will remove his hand, which means his muscles are moved. So how will his hand be removed? Because his muscles move only, the hand is removed, no? So the effector is the muscle which will actually respond, okay? So after the stimulus, which part of your body responds? Mostly the muscles. So even if a pin pricks also, you take your hand, which is the movement of the muscle. But sometimes glands, say for example salivary glands, okay. So whenever, okay, let's not go into that because in your higher grades you will be learning more about glands. For this example, just know it is about muscles, okay. So the effector is the muscle here because it causes the movement or it causes the response. So what do you understand from this? If you look into the whole picture, you can sense one thing, that is it is a sequence which starts from like this: receptor first. From the receptor, that is the nerve ending, it will go to, where does it go? Through the red line, sensory neuron. It will reach the association neuron, which is this green line, and then it will come back through the blue line, which is the motor neuron, and reach the red spot, which is the effector. That red spot will move. That is the reaction which happens here. That is because of heat, the muscles move. So when a hot object is touched, the muscles move. That is the process happening in a reflex arc. Clear? So this is all about reflex arc. So one more interesting topic you have to complete today's portion. So what is that? You have something called as conditional reflexes. What are conditional reflexes? See, reflex action is all inborn, okay. Even if you pinch a baby, it will take its hand and it will cry. If you prick a baby also, it will sense and it will react, okay. From since birth, it can sense the pain or stimulus and it will react because it is all involuntary. But there are some habits that you learn as you grow up, okay. Say for example, when you see or smell your favorite food, okay, when your mom is making some special food in the kitchen, so your mouth will water, right? You will get more water. Or when you eat your chocolate also, your salivary glands will secrete more saliva, right? Why so? Because it is learnt reflex. What is this learnt reflex? You will not have in your birth, but as you grow up, when you come to know about this world, okay, what you know that this food will taste good, or the chocolate will be very sweet, and when you see that again, automatically your mouth will start watering, or you will be tempted to do that, which is involuntary again, okay, because you don't decide or you don't plan to bring more saliva into your mouth, right? So it is involuntary, and this is called conditional reflex. And also one more example, no? When you apply brake, see, a new learner, either a car or a two-wheeler or even a bicycle, for your level let it be a bicycle. So when you start to ride a bicycle, you may not know when to apply brake. That's why many people go and dash somewhere, because they will not, a new learner will not sense that he or she has to apply brake so that he does not hit any other tree or does not fall down, okay. But as he or she is experienced, after some time, automatically when something is in front, automatically the hand will hold the brake to stop hitting or stop the accident, right? So this happens, this is a learned experience, that is you gain after you are experienced at something, that just like holding a brake, okay. So watering of mouth and holding a brake is all by experience and as you grow up, which is learnt over the span of life when you live. It is not inborn. So that condition is called conditional reflexes, okay. Then your homework part, the answers for previous homework, that is page number 71, is false. The answer was false. Why? How to correct it? It is not, involuntary actions are not within your conscious control is the answer. Okay, so who gave me the first right answer? Yes. Yeah, Jeevika has given me the first right answer for today. And for today's homework, on page number 71, you can answer questions from 3 to 5. If it is a wrong answer, please do write the correct answer. Okay, and you can send me WhatsApp to this number. And please students, do not ask me. See, once I say those who send me the first right answer, I will announce the name in the next class, right? So please wait until the next class. So immediately each one of you, after sending me message, you message me again. Am I the first, like that? Please do not ask that. I will only announce in the next class. Okay, so wait until then. So that is all for today's class, and until I meet you in your next class, this is Bensi telling bye bye. You all take care.